Hey, Lisa. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Tammy. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you doing?
Hanging in there.
Yeah.
Hanging in there.
We've got Karen Gaudiosi here. Hello, hello, Karen. Thanks for coming. And Heather at Milk and Honey Heritage Farms. Good to see you guys.
Hello, hello.
Um, so before we start today, we're going to be talking about a whole lot of soap. There will be a whole lot of soaping going on this month. But before we do that, we did want to talk briefly about the storm that has hit all of the states, Florida, Georgia, um, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee. We have friends, we've got family that's over there in those areas. So just want to mention all of you guys and let you know that we're thinking about you and praying for you. And for people that aren't aware, because there's not a lot being shared on the media, I'm not quite sure why, but those folks are in some dire straits over there. And what I've heard, and I will share what I've heard from North Carolina, is that there is power out, and it's even really spotty. Like, I know someone who is without power, but wait, she has power. Her neighbors right behind her don't have power.
Right.
They don't have internet is down. She's actually letting people use her Wi-Fi, and they're coming to her driveway to use their Wi-Fi as they need to make phone calls and check email and stuff like that. She said that she was able to go. There was only one teller in the whole town, that ATM, that was working as of, like, it's probably 5 days ago now. And when she went to go pull out $500, it gave it to her in $10 bills. So she was thinking that ATM's probably not working right now, so no access to their money.
It'll
She
be
sent
empty.
me, yeah, she sent me pictures of grocery stores completely wiped out. I mean, all the shelves just empty, the food just gone. Um, so that's what I'm hearing about from North Carolina, and that update. Lisa, I shared it with you. Was it yesterday? I'm losing track
Hmm.
already.
Yeah.
And that was yesterday. So I don't know. I think you've heard from different folks too, Lisa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just lower this. I'm getting an echo.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad. Every text that I've gotten from friends and family there have started with Lisa. It's
Mhm.
bad.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um,
It's a zoo out there, is what
it's
my friend
it's
shared with me.
catastrophic. We lived in North Carolina from 2011 to, well, I guess 2020, 1 or 2 days into 2020.
Hmm.
Um, and we ended up selling our home outside of Asheville mid 2020. Um, and it is unfathomable
Hmm.
the destruction that has been caused in there's no power, there's no it's spotty internet service. The
Hmm.
destruction is going to take years to rebuild. If they do, many are saying they will not, which is devastating.
Hmm.
It is Asheville is being covered because it is a tourist town, and one of their biggest tourist seasons is leaf peeping season, which brings in a lot of revenue for the state and for
It's
the
what?
area.
Leaf? What'd you
Leaf
say?
peeping,
What is that?
when the leaves turn in the fall.
Oh, you call it leaf peeping?
That's what they call it, leaf
Oh,
peeping.
oh, okay. Okay.
And
Leaf peepers.
leaf peepers, yeah.
Oh, okay. Leaf peep. Okay, now I get it. The people coming to peep at the leaves. Okay,
And
sorry.
they, it is what saddens me is there are several states affected. there are several mountain towns affected that are not
Mhm.
getting the coverage that Asheville is. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Asheville shouldn't be covered. However,
Mhm.
there are people still trapped in their homes. Not to be graphic, but to give you an idea of what some of the things that they're dealing with is there were so many bodies in the river floating by. And now that the water has receded, they are finding those bodies in trees, etc. That's how
Oh my god.
disturbing this is.
Oh my goodness.
And they, hospitals had generators, but were short on food, and
Mhm.
staff were there tirelessly helping patients and so on.
Mhm.
And they were running out of food and all that. I mean, this is really bad. This is just horrific.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of areas, like I said, not getting the coverage. And Asheville itself is still in the rescue mode,
Mhm.
trying to find people. It's just, I know we had a rough weekend because, and I say rough weekend lightly,
Mhm.
um, because we could not reach family or friends. Thankfully,
Mhm.
we have reached them.
Yeah.
But
Oh
there's
my
many people who
goodness.
still cannot reach people they're looking for and they don't know.
Yeah. And you had said that you'd even heard that people were putting pictures or signs up at the ends of the road, um, just saying insulin needed,
Yeah.
medication needed, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of basic needs, you think of, water and oxygen. And so
Hmm.
anyone with town water, the town water plants are down, a lot of them. The water system has been compromised and they need to boil water to make it safe to drink.
Yeah. Oh,
And
of
the
course.
problem is that a lot of people don't have power to boil the water.
Mm-hmm.
So the other part is they were completely cut off. Many towns are completely cut off. They
Mm-hmm.
cannot get out of their houses.
Mm.
My family members were luckily able to get to Columbia, South Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
and get supplies, but they still couldn't get all they needed.
Mm-hmm.
They are doing airdrops, but there's a lot of people not having any needs met
Mm-hmm.
and severe needs like oxygen, insulin,
Mm-hmm.
because they can't. Even if you had insulin on hand,
Mm-hmm.
there's limits with your insurance a lot of the time
Mm-hmm.
for how much you can have on hand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just deplorable
Yeah.
conditions.
Mm-hmm.
It's heartbreaking. I'm having a hard time dealing with it, and I'm not even there. And it's just because, like I said, we called it home for
Mm-hmm.
many years, and it's just really catastrophic.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you even begin? And
Mm-hmm.
here's the thing too, Ryan and I have been watching the news, and it doesn't look like anything is salvageable.
Mm-hmm.
Like buildings are
Oh, water can
compromised.
do so much damage.
Well, and it's not just flooding, it's
Yeah.
flooding that compromised buildings, so they have to come down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
just absolute a
Hey, Troy
catastrophe.
Sutton and Templin Acres. Good to see you all. Yeah. Um, yeah.
I
There
helped.
are, like Heather mentioned, several YouTube channels on the ground delivering needed items. Andale Homestead is tackling, I think she's tackling the North Carolina area, right?
I
Anybody
have
can
not been
grab
on
that
social
for me.
media.
But there's different, I know Patara is covering the Tennessee area. Um, I think, yep, pinball preparedness. Wow, raised over $60,000 and Bear Independent has boots on the ground. And
There's a lot of people on the ground,
which
but
is awesome.
which is really awesome. Don't get me wrong, I'm not negating that. The
Yeah.
reality is though, the need is so widespread
Mhm.
that, like I said, it's not just getting them supplies, it's people
Mhm.
are still trapped in their homes.
Yeah.
It's still very much a rescue effort.
Mhm.
And
What was I saying?
it's just,
That's I haven't seen much from the news really capturing. I don't know. Maybe I don't typically watch the news,
I
so
don't watch the news and I don't have cable, so I get everything
me
online.
neither. Yeah.
Everything that I'm getting online is
Hey,
repetitive,
Paula.
does
Yeah.
not seem to be.
Okay, that's good that they teamed up. I'm glad people are doing some. Well, I mean, one thing I wanted to point out is, most of us here that are in this live right now and we watch these channels. So we're all probably a little more prepared than other people are, right? And really, if you were to ask around, I'm afraid we make up a very small percentage of people. With this event happening, I'll betcha that where those folks go, that they adopt a whole new mindset because I think a lot of people expect that, you wake up tomorrow, okay, very light handed, Lisa. You wake up tomorrow, you expect to have water coming out of your faucet, right? And you still don't, right?
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. You don't expect a storm of this gravity to come and knock out the entire town. Like, you worry about maybe flooding in your basement, or maybe your garage that sits lower on the hill or something. You don't expect all of this, but those of us that are all here, we probably follow a lifestyle that we have extra food if we did get stuck in our house, but other people don't. And I know the person that I was talking to, she was saying her concern was everybody's food was going to, like, they have no electricity. So what they have in their freezer is going to be going bad in a couple days, and they're really not going to have food. I mean,
It was gone by Sunday.
mhm. Mm. Yeah.
So here's the thing, like, you know, you can there were a couple of different scenarios, and, one was some of those people prepared like crazy maybe, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
But their homes floated away and they lost it all.
Yeah. Wow.
Or there were people who didn't prepare,
Mhm.
or there were people who prepared and had it.
Yeah.
But, the concern is society devolves in
Yeah.
these situations,
Yeah. Hey,
and
Jennifer. Hey, Robin.
that's the scariest part because
Because
there
that's
are
the
people
next
there
place they're
who could
going, right?
leave,
Mhm.
right? They could leave, but they're worried to leave because they worry about their home being empty.
And looted. Mhm. Which is another thing I heard was occurring, but you're not seeing that everywhere.
No, barely. I've seen 2 things on it. That's it.
Mhm.
Um, and it's
Mhm.
bad. And now people are getting sick, um, nausea and diarrhea and all of
Mm.
that because of the
Contaminated
contaminated
water.
water.
Yeah. Hey, Blue.
We have YouTubers affected by this.
Mhm. Mhm.
Holman's Homestead, uh, are safe. I emailed with
Where are they
them
located again, Lisa?
in Eastern Tennessee.
Okay.
They're The other thing is people think mountains, they think things don't happen in the mountains, and
Mhm.
the problem is a lot of the rivers are in the hollers,
Mhm.
and they're in between mountains,
Mhm.
and so it just rises and takes everything in its path.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, and when you live in the mountains, let's face it, you don't live at the tip top. So
well,
there's
and
a mountain above you that has all kinds of watershed, and that we used to have really bad issues with flooding. And I think what has compounded this is that all of these places, or at least a lot of them, were having some major drought issues. When you get drought issues, you get a hard, compact ground that does not readily absorb water that lands on it, and then you end up with flooding. We always had a lot of flooding in northern Arizona. Certain roads would be shut down and things, but
a lot of we used to live in Spruce Pine, and that was a Tennessee border county, and so there's 2 ways in and out, and there's one way, which is down through Cox's Creek into McDowell County,
Hey
and
there.
that is 1,000-foot elevation change.
Mhm.
It is an extremely steep road.
Mhm.
The road is gone. The National Guard is blocking that road, so that's one entrance out. So Spruce Pine is pretty much cut off right now.
Mhm. Where you lived.
That's where we lived,
Mhm. Hey, Gail.
which
Mhm.
just heartbreaking
Yeah.
because, the Appalachian Mountains, there's a lot of people doing well, and there's a lot of people who
Mhm.
are impoverished, and I
Yeah.
live there and I know it. I did community work there, community mental health team, and absolutely sad.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
there's gonna be nothing left.
Mhm. Yep. Jennifer. Agree.
Yeah, it's the local National Guard,
Mhm.
like the McDowell County National Guard.
Hey, Jan. Who's Bree? What channel's that? This
Art
video.
and Bree or Bree something or other, yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
It's bad.
Mhm. Yeah. Um. So we've dropped a lot of channel names for places that are sharing information, and there are the channels that are being impacted. We're probably not seeing or hearing much from, because I know the person that I was talking to. I don't think she's uploaded anything yet. She didn't as of yesterday because you know um, it's just not a good time for that. So
I
we'll
agree, Jennifer Ocean. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with people
Yeah.
who didn't have running water, and
Mm-hmm.
that was, you know, 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, everyone, Andale Homestead, Pinball Preparedness, Patara, I can't remember what her channel name is. Any other channels you can shout out where people can go to get more information on how to help?
On Facebook, there's a let me just see if I can find it.
Oh, that's awesome. Echo with living my best at 60, staying in a hotel, powers out at her apartment complex. Oh my goodness.
North Carolina's Weather Authority
Mm-hmm.
has been an amazing website. I know
Okay.
not a website, Facebook page.
Okay.
And um, they it's a long story, but it's just an amazing Facebook page, and there's
Mm-hmm.
been millions of posts by this guy,
Mm-hmm.
trying to bring people together.
Mm-hmm.
If you have family members that are missing there is a missing Facebook group, and it's
Oh
just
my goodness. No kidding, Lisa.
yeah,
How
because
many,
people
do we
can't
know how many are missing?
a lot.
Like a thousand
This
or
is
more?
huge. This is North Carolina, Tennessee,
My goodness.
Georgia, Florida. It's Here's the thing. A lot of people have said this, and it drove me insane because I've lived there and I know
Mm-hmm.
hurricanes do not affect the mountains like this normally.
Mm-hmm.
The sirens went off in Swannanoa,
Mm-hmm.
and,
Which is
I'm
where?
sorry, about the flooding, and they had time to get on their roof.
Oh my goodness. And then the roof
And
caves. Hey, Arc,
yeah, and
welcome.
there are towns that are gone. Chimney Rock, gone, completely wiped off.
Mm-hmm. They're independent. His video this morning. Is that a channel? They're independent. I haven't heard of
Yeah,
that
I'd
one.
like to know more on that because I'm trying to think of how to get Amazon products that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think they're going to have the power on by Friday, that's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's they will have to. I mean, if you think about the buildings that are affected, it can cause fires and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And could
Health
somebody post a
insurance.
link to this guy, Heather? Do you know who he is?
Yeah, that's a new one to me. They're independent. Hmm. Yeah, I haven't heard of it before either.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of like Amazon lockers and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
you would have to do outside the area and make sure your
Mm-hmm.
loved one could get to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I have a friend in Weaverville, North Carolina, which is outside of Asheville, and
Mm-hmm.
he had no power or anything like that. And he was able to reach out to me on Instagram and
Mm-hmm.
say that he was okay, but they were running
Oh,
low on
they're
gas.
independent.
Thank you.
Hey, Uncle
Um,
Al.
I was able to get on the phone and look up resources for him because he didn't have enough power or internet that was spotty
Mm-hmm.
to look up things. And I said, let me send some things to you. And I was able to let him know that his local public store was open and he went there and got water for his family.
Mm-hmm.
So, bare independence. Thank you, Heather.
Also has Grindstone Ministries. Okay. Okay. How to get items and people to where they need to be. Very awesome. The power of the people, right?
Hmm.
Not the power of the big G. Just want to point that out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because really, right, I mean, for the longest time, it was state government helping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, overwhelmed state government helping. And um, that was it.
Yep.
We
Hey,
hadn't
Killer
heard
Girl.
anything from, and I hope you don't mind, Tammy, but
Thank you for the reminder for everybody, Uncle Al.
we didn't hear anything from
Mm.
our fearless leader.
Nope, I don't mind at all.
Absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And we as a nation should have been addressed long before it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And there should be leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, I think compassion on the leadership level. Do you know what I mean? Like that too.
Absolutely.
Like that, if nothing else. Oh, I did, Arc Wild Man. Thank you.
Hey,
Oh, wait, the
Killer,
package. I haven't been to the post office yet.
thanks, Heather.
Yeah, thank you for sharing those links. So, everybody, if you want to help in some way, some little way, it's there's a lot of ways to do that. So, there's people that are trying to coordinate those efforts.
Bye, Teresa.
Thanks, Teresa.
Yeah,
Um, so,
it's bad.
mhm,
It's bad.
mhm.
I mean, a lot of people are calling it Hurricane Katrina. Um, for
Well,
North
shoot, back
Carolina.
then, if you remember, like they didn't get help either. That was everybody's big complaint. I feel like it's because they I don't know. You would think they would figure out how if it was themselves, their family, and their people. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean, right? And
Hmm.
I feel like, you know, we're not all their people. Like we're not, let's face it, none of us are rich and famous. Right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's who their people are. It doesn't go much further than that. Um,
It,
so
this is an area a lot larger than Katrina.
mhm.
This is across several states.
It
And
is. My
it's
goodness.
just, I'm not saying one is worse than the other. I'm just
Mhm.
saying, I don't care what your financial background is.
Mhm.
Because I will say this one thing I saw on Facebook, which irritated me, was somebody had
Mhm.
posted, um, all this is gone. And they
Mhm.
posted this reel and they showed the two of them in their home by the river, and a lot of people in the comments said things like, "Oh, well, looks like you got enough money to rebuild." The
Flood
bottom line is
insurance is extra, and a lot of people don't carry flood insurance. Just
a lot of
saying.
these areas were not in floodplains because it never got that
Hmm.
far. The other thing
Hmm.
is those people worked hard, I'm sure, to get their house.
That's right.
Whatever the circumstances are, the must be nice stuff is
Yeah.
just this is uncalled for.
Hmm.
Uncalled for. Somebody lost their home, their memories, all their
Winter's
possessions.
coming. Hmm. And more storms before winter, too. You're right, Lisa. And the flooding insurance. So even when you do have insurance, if you don't have flood insurance, they wouldn't be covered.
Flood insurance is expensive, and if you've ever
Mhm.
been flooded before, it's even more expensive. It
Mm.
doesn't cover everything. You still have to have flood content insurance.
Mhm.
FEMA does not help everyone. Most people are
Mhm.
not eligible for FEMA.
Hey, Kate.
So it's not an easy fix.
Mhm.
Not at all. Not at all.
Mhm. Yeah.
I know,
So.
Heather. I saw that and I just was so devastated when I
Mhm.
saw that because I felt like the lady was trying to show something beautiful
Mhm.
and communicate a sentiment and was attacked.
Yeah. I was watching. I like to watch the sisters digging in the Word on Monday nights.
Yep.
And Not for Nothing Homestead has been through flooding. She's been through storms before. She said she'd been through like three of them. And she said that what she wanted everybody to know was that when that happened, because she was in a situation where they had, donations come in, and she said she was just so thankful for every little thing, not talking money, but, tangible items even. Because she's like, these people that don't know me care enough to send whatever this is. So, if you have any little thing, if you have anything extra that you can cut loose of, there is, sounds like Bear Independence is helping coordinate where you can mail stuff. And again, those other channels that were shared here. So,
There's also like Jennifer Ocean said, some people don't have insurance at all. I can't
mm-hmm,
afford it.
mm-hmm,
There are a lot of people who are in trailer homes who cannot get insurance. I know in North Carolina that's the case. I don't know about other
mm-hmm.
states.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Home insurance is expensive for sure.
Yeah, Kill It and Grill It. I was watching a few things on that last night, and they said that they believe that it's not going to hit the same area. They believe it's hype.
Oh, okay.
So what
I
happened? What
hope
happened
that's
with this storm is that before Hurricane Helene hit, there was a front moving in, and the cold front moved in and dropped a lot of rain on them. Some places got 28 or so inches of rain, and it stalled.
mm-hmm.
The front stalled. When the front stalled, Hurricane Helene then came up
Mm.
and hit. So
What
it dropped a
stalled?
lot of rain.
What
What?
stalled?
The cold front. So there was a
Um,
cold front coming in,
uh-huh.
and then hurricane, and it stalled and kept dropping rain, and then Hurricane Helene came in.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Hmm. All right. So everybody go back and check the links. Let me see if I can maybe pin. It sounds, gosh, there's several links. I'll see if I can go and maybe pin the one for Bear Independence where it shows where you can mail everything.
And just be careful because sadly there are scammers out
Yeah.
there.
Isn't that the most awful thing? Unfortunately.
Um, so yeah, so just be careful. Make sure you're giving to someone reputable and you know that they're doing what they say they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, kill it and
Um,
grill it. Don't even get me started on that. the money needs to stay here in the United States and help the United States people. I'm sorry, that's where I'm at.
Oh man, isn't that horrible?
We need help right now. All those
Oh
troops
my
could be sent
goodness.
down there to help instead of being sent somewhere
Mhm.
else.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I know somebody who has a family member that's been sent.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Um,
stay appropriate because we're on Tammy's channel, but I'll leave it at that. Just be
we all
careful
know.
with anything that happened to Tammy's channel.
All right, I pinned Bear Independence, so y'all can go check that out. Yeah, go check that out. See what we can do because, people help people. Um, we can't I don't know. I think we all know what we want to say. We're basically on our own.
Yep,
Um,
agreed.
when it comes down to it, we always are. And I think the people that think that we're not are very sadly mistaken.
The
But
people who helped and are helping now are people helping people, not
mhm. Yeah. Hey Dyer Family Farm.
where it should also be coming from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Heather, can
Yeah.
you please post Broke Cowgirl Homestead's channel if you get a minute? Thank you.
Yeah, and Gwen, you do have a good point. Um, true, true. It
So,
does, but
just to speak to that, places are inaccessible. And the help that is down there right now is in, meaning formalized help, is in
mhm.
rescue operation mode,
Mhm.
not recovery.
Mhm.
They are still trying to get people out that are trapped, and that need is huge, larger
Mhm.
than what you're seeing on the news,
Mhm.
because they're only sharing about the larger city that is affected versus all the cities that are affected.
Mhm.
Um, so they this is nothing they've ever dealt with, and the state is doing everything they can. I do
Mhm.
believe that because I've been watching the state briefings,
Mhm.
but they some of these folks working on the state have been at it since it hit
Mhm.
24 hours a day. And that is selfless to be doing that and
Mhm.
doing what they need to, even though they're getting paid for it, doesn't matter.
Mhm.
They're working 24 hours a day.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. It's really nice that these channels and just amazing that these channels are doing what they're doing to help.
Yeah,
And Pinball, isn't he in Idaho or something?
I don't know.
I don't even think it's his part of the country. I could be mistaken, but
We're Americans. That's what we do is help each other.
that's right.
People helping people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, he's in Tennessee? Okay.
Jeez, there we go.
Okay. Is his wife in Idaho? Like, where am I getting Idaho from? Sorry. I'll have to look into it later. I know it doesn't matter. My brain gets hung up on this kind of stuff.
Kill It and Grill It. Heather, Milk and Honey Heritage Farms posted Bro Cowgirls channel.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we don't even know how many lives have been lost. No, we don't even know how many people are missing.
Yeah, and with the port strike is going to make things worse.
Mhm. Yeah, I heard about that. That's really bad timing.
Yep, very true, Arc.
And I heard that that went into effect at 12:01 minute after midnight today, right?
Yeah.
So, we'll all be seeing some outcomes of that, I think.
Yeah,
Sticker
and I
shock.
mean, just to give you an idea, so we're in South Dakota, for those of you who may not know, and last year when we had a couple of blizzards, they had to close down I-90.
Mm-hmm.
I-90 is a major route through our state, um, not only for supplies, but also heading through us to go to other states.
Uh-huh.
And whenever 90 gets closed
Thanks, Greta.
for any amount of time, the shelves get bare.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, the shelves are not as full as they once were
Mm-hmm.
before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, that little experience right there, if you go and look at all the traffic that cannot now get through
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina, cannot get in because of rescue efforts going on
Mm-hmm.
and people not accepting deliveries, like there's nothing there. Nothing. I know that Fresh Market had opened, they were giving out water in their parking lot. They were giving out all the water that they had to residents.
Mm. Mm-hmm. These disasters will increase. The
Mm-hmm.
Bible says, just saying. We've been warned.
Please be prepared. I realize it may wash away, but have
Um,
food and
mm-hmm.
water
Mm-hmm.
on hand. Have a way to cook alternatively. You don't need to go crazy, but have food and water on hand.
Mm-hmm. And a way to clean and purify your water. I mean, we should all have at least two ways to do that, but just anything you can do, because whatever somebody doesn't do, and when they're in need, they're going to be looking at their neighbors. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
neighbors will want to help neighbors, but you can only help a neighbor so much. So any little thing that everybody can do is going to be helpful. Spiritually and physically. Yeah. Got to be prepped up and prayed up.
So, do you want to switch gears
And talk about soap.
so that way, well, because I know, I mean, I get why you had wanted to talk about this, and I
Yeah.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I think that it is important to have a little levity for some other folks because maybe they're here for things like that now.
Mhm.
Um, because a little levity always helps.
Yeah. Candles, flashlights, lighters, oil lamps, matches. Yep. Your medications, first aid kit. Yeah. If anybody ever played Oregon Trails, make sure you're prepared for all the things that killed people. You know, people would die of a scratch. Oh gosh, and Pepto tablets. Yes. When eating food they don't want, and prep for the babies. Hey, Jamie, make sure you got stuff that the kids are going to want to eat. Your grandbabies, your kids, neighbors' kids, whatever. Just make sure that you keep the children in mind. Hey,
Yep.
stitching it up. Tornadoes are the worst things we need to prepare for. Yeah, tornadoes here. Yeah. All right, so today we are going to talk about soap. We don't have that many minutes left to do it, but
But we
um,
want to cover it. But
we
we
do.
also wanted to take the time to acknowledge what is going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And maybe we can talk more about that in another, live.
yeah, yeah. Um, so we are launching the Soaptober collaboration for the month of October and starting today. So my first video is actually going to be coming out after this live. I got it scheduled to run, I think, at like 1:15 or something. Um, but for this month, in the spirit of people being prepared and having the skill sets, sanitation is huge, and being able to make your own soap is a valuable skill to have. And there's a lot of ways to do it. My first soaping video is going to be on face soap, guys, using melt and pour, which is really easy. And I've had people ask me about sharing my, because I make my own face soap, my own face oil, and all of that stuff, and I have for a very long time. And some folks wanted me to share my essential oil blend that I use, so I'm sharing it. You guys get to know what the heck I'm putting on my face. So
Yep.
that's part of mine, but you know, there's a lot of ways to make the soap. Everybody's welcome. Your laundry soap, homemade laundry soap, liquid soap, shampoo, you know, the bar shampoo or whatever, cold process, hot process, melt and pour. They all have a place. And I do cold process too. I haven't learned how to do hot process yet, and I'm hoping maybe I could do that this year. Lisa knows how, but I want to try my hand at that because it doesn't have to cure. It's ready quicker.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah. So Life on Dyer Family Farm, you're at the right place. um, so all of these kinds of soap are welcome. It's going to be through the month of October. Now listen, for the bars of soap that are being made, we're going to do a soap swap, and I'm super excited. So my thought is how it's going to work is anybody that wants to participate in the soap swap needs to email me. You've got to email me and tell me that you want to be in the soap swap. And how it's going to work is you've got to mail me however many soaps you want back. I'm going to use, I should have had one handy. I'll share it next time. The small priority mailbox. And I know that shipping is like $10.26 for those small priority mailboxes. So if you mail me the number of soaps that you want to swap and $10, then I can send you the same amount of soaps back, but they're not going to be your soaps. They're going to be a combination of different soaps from people that are in the collaboration.
I have a question. You said number
Yeah.
of soaps.
Yeah.
Should you make it a set number?
I wonder how many fit in that box. I'm looking in my closet because I think I got a box
Are
in
they
there.
flat rate, the small ones?
Yes, flat rate. Hang on, let me go peek. I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh, soap making is so easy. A lot of people get intimidated by the lye and water. We did Soaptember last year, and so you can check out the playlist on our channel. I did one on cold process. Tammy did some also. We did step by step. So lots of good stuff. But you can also do melt and pour if that's what you want to start with.
This box. Let me see how many I can stick in here.
Dawn, it's understandable to be
I
intimidated
got
by using
5.
lye. Huh?
I got 5.
I
5
would
will
stick
fit
with
in.
5.
So you have to pull out.
Let me go back to answering Dawn.
Okay.
You need to have chemical gloves, and you also need to have protective goggles, and you need to have like a stainless steel pan. I do my lye outside because if you do it inside, you need a lot of airflow, so you don't have the other stuff. But really, it's just about being safe and protecting yourself and going slowly. And like, you don't want to be texting on your phone while you're or dealing with kids while you're doing it. Like, you want to
Yeah,
just
you want to
focus on the
focus
lye.
because you measure a bunch of stuff too.
Yeah, it's
And,
not it's really not intimidating. It's just about being smart and being careful and
yeah,
protected.
yeah.
But I do it.
And I want to speak to this. So, Jamie, I love melt and pour soap. It's the first soap that I started to make. I feel like anybody getting started with making soap, it's a great first soap to do because a couple of reasons. You get used to the pouring of the soap. You get used to the consistency of soap because when melt and pour is melted, it's the same consistency, kind of, sort of, that you see when you're working with regular soap. If you want to be familiar with, like, you're adding coloring, clays, things like that, melt and pour soap gives you an opportunity to do that. It's also quick and it's available instantly. Like as soon as it's hard, poof, you can use it. And that's what I like about it. I also like melt and pour soap. There's different ways to make it pretty, and you can get molds and all kinds of fun stuff. And I like that. And then also, the other thing is there's a lot of essential oils you can use in a melt and pour soap that you can't use in a cold process soap because they will not make it through the saponification process, which is one of the reasons. And I love a glycerin based soap for like face soap. So, and glycerin based soaps are really good for anybody with sensitive skin, eczema, psoriasis. And you can add in essential oils that treat those things in your melt and pour soap. So just saying, melt and pour soap is made through a hot process method. And I'd love to learn to make my own melt and pour soap. That would be so cool. I buy my base from wholesalesuppliesplus.com. That's my most favorite place to get my melt and pour soap base from. But just saying, I know there's a lot of people think cold process is the best soap and all of this stuff. And in some ways, it's better than others. But in some ways, the melt and pour is better than the cold process. Just saying. I feel like they're both valuable.
Life on Dyer Family Farm. We have playlists, both Mountain Grandma and myself
Awesome,
on our
Gail.
channel from September.
Yeah, melt and pour soap's a good starting place. It'll also help you get all of your supplies together too, and just kind of get used to it. Yeah. Yeah. And colorant. Yes.
I saved and I freeze dried a lot of calendula petals and marigold petals. And so that is because I will be making calendula soap again, but I'm also going to make marigold soap. I've got to get the oil infused. So it's going to be a while for my video just because the North Carolina thing is heavy on my mind and I'm just
Yeah.
not up to
That's okay,
doing
Lisa.
things right now.
Yeah. Dawn, what's fun about melt and pour soap is you can use a dang yogurt container. You can use just about any plastic container you can use for melt and pour soap. I wouldn't say the same for the cold process, but for melt and pour, you could use a cardboard box. Like you could use any, like, I'm thinking of like if you had, a box of crackers or something that you could, cut the top off of or whatever and use that. You could use that. Doesn't have to be silicone. It could be plastic. Everything works.
Gail asked, can
Awesome.
you use zinnia petals? And so I use calendula because I try to infuse it with the oil because calendula is good for your skin and marigolds also have good properties. But can you answer her about zinnias?
Sure. Thanks for being here, Low Family Adventures. Okay. Can you use zinnia petals? Sure. I mean, provided that dry them out. I've done rose petals on the top of a soap, especially if you do like a loaf soap and you put rose rose petals, dried rose petals on the top. It's so cute. If
But are
you
you
mean
you're
infusing,
talking decorative versus the way that I've used them
oh,
infused
she wants
oil?
to infuse them. I don't see why not. I'm just not sure of. Google it because maybe zinnia petals have some topical skin qualities to them that I'm not aware of. I've just never tried them. Calendula's got all kinds of good skincare properties.
By Kill It and Grill It. And I also know that like I've tried lavender and it not lavender, lilac, and it did not go well.
Yeah, I guess the one thing they might it might turn a color that you don't anticipate. Kind of like when I infused my lemon balm in oil, um, it was really dark. It was darker
Mhm.
than I thought it would be. So like that deters me from wanting to use it for certain things. But yeah, Dawn, totally. Thank you, Kill It and Grill It. Appreciate that.
Question for you, Mountain Grandma. If I take my petals and infuse them in oil, I can do a video on that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Any step of the process I feel like is fair. Heck, if somebody wanted to share the supplies that they use,
Mhm.
um, you could do that too for soap making. There's so many things to it. Somebody in here, I saw the question fly by and I didn't catch it. Because I don't know, I was probably talking. But they had asked, where can I find instructions? So to that person, there is a playlist on my channel from last year's what do we call it? Soaping September, I think is what we
So
called it.
September.
Yeah. So for
I'll be right back.
okay. But we had a lot of great videos shared. You can go and check those out if there's something you want to see in particular. And I remember Lisa sharing all of her supplies, and she did a great video for what you need for cold process. It's really, you don't deal with the lye for that long. And in all fairness, you're not dealing with that much lye. Like it's a little bit of lye you add to your water. You got to let it get hot. You got to do it in a. I go out on the porch. I put it out on the porch while it does its thing, because it puts out fumes. So you got to be cautious of your protective equipment when you are pouring, blending, and around it to breathe it. Right. So gloves, mask, eye goggles for any splashes, right? That's what you want to. Brambleberry is a great source. I'm super partial to wholesale supplies plus.com too. They have a lot of recipes on there. Kind of depends on what method do you feel like you learn the best from? Do you feel like you learn the best from watching someone do it, from reading instructions? And then for me, I'm just a get my hands in there and get her done kind of person. But hey, Wendy, thanks for coming. We're talking about Soaptober. I hope you're doing well. Wendy, where are you?
Oklahoma.
Okay.
Excellent
Yes,
book Mountain Grandma bought me.
it
Mountain
is. Show
Grandma
them the
bought this.
pictures. Open it. You guys, this is such an amazing book. And it's actually made by the lady that owns Brambleberry. But it is a great book. I'm talking detailed instructions. Look at this. And detailed instructions step by step. It's a really wonderful book. It's not expensive. You can find it on eBay or Amazon. I guarantee you that. Great book. The one thing I'd say about it is it uses a lot of different oils
Yeah.
that you would have to buy to do some of the recipes. That's the only part that might be a little bit frustrating because buying the different oils and whatnot. But um, yeah, but the basic oils are coconut oil. Ooh, we're gonna have to end here soon too.
Oh yeah.
Get me started talking about soap, and I could go on and on. I just love making soap and bath and body
Ice
products.
stitching it
So
up.
you know what I think about it that makes me so happy about making soap and bath and body products is that you can make them pretty, so you get that visual, and then they smell good, so you get like that other your olfactory senses going, and then you can use them. So then you have like multi-sensory thing that I just love. Yep, thrifty books. Bye, stitching it up. Thanks for coming. Oh
So
goodness. Yes, you do need to do that.
So just to reiterate, because we have like a minute left. So where do people get information on Soaptober if they're watching the replay or didn't come in the live until you were done saying that?
Okay. You could watch the replay of the live. I put in some details in my description box of the video that's coming out in 20 minutes. I've got it set to upload at 1:15. I don't know why I selected 1:15. Maybe I should have selected 1 o'clock, but
Gwen at Broke Cowgirl Homestead said she loves this book, said I could share it.
oh, nice. Yeah.
It's The Natural Guide to Soap Making by Amanda Gale Aaron.
I'll have to check that one out. I don't have that one. I've got one
Yeah,
with
I'm going to check that out too. Hold on. It's The Complete.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll see if I can change real quick my time and just get my video to going out in 5 minutes so everybody can go watch it after this. That might be easier. Hold on, I'll fix it. Probably should have done that in the first place.
It's all
Shaking
good.
my head. Why I do some of the stuff that I do. Okay, hold on. All right, I am. I won't be able to do a premiere though because I have a meeting. Okay. Now it should say October 1st. All right. So right after this live at 1 o'clock, my soap video is coming out. You could go look down in the description box. Basically, if you want to join in, tag me on your video so that I can add you to the playlist. And then if you want to be in the soap swap, email me because I need to know. I need to know that you're going to be in it. I need to know if you have allergies. I don't know. Maybe I don't really care what kind of soap you're making, but just keep in mind it's got to be hard soap.
All right. Not to be rude.
All right.
You got to go.
But I know.
Love you guys.
All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. Bye, everyone. Bye,
Bye.
Lisa.
Bye.